My cousin is so entitled. She wants to wear my necklace, which by the way my grandmother gave me. She wants to wear it on her special wedding day. But what I tried to tell her is this. She's getting married on the same day I was supposed to get married before the love of my life shattered my heart. But she doesn't seem to care. All she cares about is if she gets to wear that necklace or not. So you know what? I can play that game too. My cousin's getting married on the day that I would have gotten married. Am I the a-hole for thinking that she's being insensitive? I have thought long and hard about this, and I still don't feel okay about it. When I tried to talk to her about it, we had a brief conversation where she invalidated my feelings. Now, I'm considering not even going to the wedding. But it'll look like I'm jealous, which I'm not. I know that life works out differently for everyone. I know that it might rain today on my side, but at the end of it, there's a rainbow. But Natasha feels that she deserves all the sunshine. She's someone who has never had anything bad happen to her because her parents take care of her. Her stepdad's very rich. He's always bought her everything she wants. She's gone to the best school and has a very good job. I come from a loving family, not very rich, but I've always been grateful for what my parents do for me. I also have a senior position where I work. Even though I'm 26 years old, I've been engaged for the past 2 years to a guy I was with for 4 years. Earlier this year, he broke things off with me because he had feelings for somebody else. I was heartbroken, but on the bright side, he chose to tell me about it before he did anything with her. It would have been very heartbreaking if I found out after getting married to him. So I called off the wedding and did not cause any drama. I dealt with my emotions privately and have since moved on. Well, I thought that I've moved on. He left town with that girl, so at least I don't have to see them. I blocked him on all social media platforms. Why? Well, easy. Because I did not want to be reminded that I was not enough. People expected a reaction from me when they said his name, but I schooled myself not to ever react. I just hated the stares and gossip. I mean, no one needed to hear the full story from me, and they pity me. I just wanted it to pass and move on with my life. My career is the only love that I needed. Natasha knew about the wedding before canceled being. In fact, she was the one who had given me the contact details of the wedding planner. I'd already sent my save the date, so she knew the date of the wedding. The next thing I knew, she was engaged to this wealthy guy, and they were having a rush wedding. Without having asked, she told me that it was not a shotgun wedding at all. They were just so eager to get married and start their lives, and then she told me that she was getting married on the day that I was supposed to get married. I asked if it was set in stone, and she said, well, not yet. She was still weighing some options, and I jokingly told her that it was the day I would have gotten married, if she remembered. And she laughed as well. She told me that she was not sure about the date and would consider changing it. So there I was with the false sense of security that she was not going to get married on that day. I'd already gotten over it, but I was dreading that day. Seeing someone else getting married on the day was not what I needed. Just the thought of it brought a lump to my throat. Maybe I should have made more vocal when I got dumped and let people see how hurt I actually was. Maybe then Natasha would have pitied me and not chosen that date. She went against my wishes and sent out invites on that date. My mother called me as soon as she got the invite and she asked if I was okay with it. I was honest with her because I can't lie to my mom. I don't want her to get married on that day. She knows what happened, yet she did this to me. Mom said that she would speak to her mother about it. I quickly shut down that idea, and I knew it would turn into drama because my cousin is very entitled. She was the kid who would take everyone's toys when we were children and throw tantrums if anybody said anything about it. And I mean, yeah, her mother is even worse. Her mother can ruin a person's life just for inconveniencing her child. She has both the brain and the money for it. I remember on several occasions, I've tried to stand up to both of them and have borne the consequences. Involving my mother in this fight would make her a target and start family drama, so I told her not to say anything. For weeks, this has been eating me up. The wedding's getting closer and I'm dreading it. I'm even considering pretending to be sick or going out of town to avoid going to the wedding. But the problem is that I am on the spot. If I even show for 1 second that I'm not happy for my cousin, people will think that I'm jealous of her. It takes a lot to admit this, but I care too much about what people think. I hate giving them something to talk about. The reason why I hate such a fear of being talked about is, well, that when I was in school, I was bullied for my looks, and also for not being, quote, rich enough. Well, this happened because I trusted people and told them about the situation at home. Those same people blabbed it to the wrong people, and that's how I became a target. I could already hear what they would say about me. She just could not take it. She was bitter about the wedding, as if Natasha's fault that she would not keep a man. I have tried to shield myself from the rumors, but I know that people blame me for Adam leaving me, as if I was the one who broke up the relationship. So, anyways, it's been eating me up for a very long time. So I decided that I was either going to let it slowly drive me crazy, or I was going to have it addressed to her. She has the money, she can move things and have a wedding day on a separate day. So why does it have to be on my day? I've just started to sell my things, including my dress, because looking at it reminds me of the stabbing pain of being broken up with. I just went to see her a few days ago. Her house looked like a wedding catalog had exploded all over it. There were boxes everywhere, as well as several of her friends. We had some cake, cocktails, and a bit of gossip sessions. Once I relaxed and the other girls were not within earshot, I told her I needed to tell her something. And I quote, "Please don't take it the wrong way. I've been having sleepless nights because of your wedding day. It's the date that I was supposed to get married. I wanted that day to pass without noticing, but now I'll have to remember it forever." "What do you want me to do? Change it?" "I didn't choose to fall in love so quickly and easily. It's my special day, and I've put it in too much work. You're going to make me think that you're just jealous." I couldn't believe she said that. Well, I was about to reply, but then she changed the topic. I realized that maybe I should just drop it and I was just being self-centered. This was not okay behavior from me. I don't know how to get through that day. When I think of it approaching, I feel shortness of breath. How can I overcome this feeling that I have? I won't lie, it still hurts like heck. She should know that. She was insensitive to pick that day, but she gets to do whatever she wants because her parents have money, and they've always given her what she wants. Well, should I just not show up at the wedding and risk being called jealous? Natasha can hold a grudge for a very long time, and well, I do not want to be on the receiving end at all. I've called our grandmother. She's the only one who truly understands me. I feel like she might give me a solution. Update number 1. She told everyone that I'm jealous of her and is putting pressure on me to give her the necklace my grandma gave to me. Well, guys, I went to visit my grandmother over the weekend, and while I was gone, hell kind of broke loose. She's now threatening to uninvite me and my entire side of the family from the wedding just to get my dad fired. All this because she wants a family heirloom that means so much to me. She doesn't care about how Grandma feels about the matter. She only sees herself and her agenda and does not care how it affects anybody else. When I came home from visiting Grandma, who helped me to feel better about the situation, I was ready to attend the wedding and support her. Grandma told me to think of Natasha's wedding as a cleansing of some sort. because a good thing will happen on that day. She also told me that pain will fade with time. I'm braver than I think. I got so emotional, even shedding a tear or two. I never get emotional, but Grandma manages to make me like that. There's a necklace that Grandma gave me when I turned 21. She told me to wear it on my wedding day. Only my mother knows about it. I keep it at her house. It's a very beautiful, expensive necklace. Unfortunately, my aunt was at my mom's house. She saw the necklace and recognized it and told her daughter about it, so she got it in her mind that she needs to wear it for her wedding. My mother refused to hand it over, which was when Natasha sent a long message to various family members accusing me of being jealous of her and trying to ruin my wedding. The sentence that hurt the most was this: I feel like she might curse me and my marriage. Her bitterness makes me feel scared. What if I end up like her? After that, I got so many messages from people who told me I should be ashamed of myself. I tried to explain the situation, but to no avail. And then I asked her to please meet up with me so that we could discuss this like adults. She was supposed to come alone, but of course she came with her mother. On her own, she's mean and entitled, but when her mother's around, oh boy, she's 10 times worse. They ambushed me and made me feel so small and stupid. This is how it's going to happen. You're giving her the necklace to wear for her wedding. If you do not, your mother, father, and sister will not be allowed at the wedding. Do not forget that when your father was retrenched, my husband was the one who gave him a job. He can lose that job just as quickly, her mother said. They told me that I have a few days to think about it, and this would only be the beginning of the horror that was certainly about to come. I'll admit, I'm a bit scared of what actually might happen. Update number 2. My dad found out about the threat, and he quit his job. He says that he can find work somewhere else. He's been wanting days, and he got a new job. I'd already resigned myself to the fact that nothing could make me give that necklace to them, and that was when I got the call from Grandma. She told me that I was simply being selfish, and I should give the necklace to my cousin. That was uncharacteristic of her. She always has supported me. A few minutes after the call where I told her I was giving the necklace back, I got a call from her neighbor. She had gone next door to borrow something, but my grandmother was not responding. When she entered, she found out that she was collapsed on the floor. She called an ambulance, and I stayed on the call until it came. Then I started to call all my family members and alert them of what's going on. I called Natasha, but it didn't go through. Of course, it was already late. But I decided to drive to the hospital and see her. The doctor told me that she had gotten a big shock and fainted, but she was okay. When she woke up, I asked her what happened. Would you believe this? Well, the reason Natasha was not picking up her phone was that she was scared. Natasha and her mother had gone to Grandma's house and intimidated her into making that call to me. Grandma got so scared that she fainted. They thought they killed her, so they ran away and switched off their phone. Grandma's not pressing any charges, but she's very disappointed. She does not want to tell people what happened, though, as such a scandal will cause a rift in the family for sure. I cannot force her to tell them what happened, even though I want to so badly. If I tell them, I might cause a rift in the family. Grandma's old, and all she wants to do is see her family happy together and united. But I will never look at those two the same way again. Today I took my wedding invitation and threw it in the trash. I also went to my mother's house and took my necklace. I don't put it to pass them just to break into my home to steal it. I've lost all respect for them, and I hope that one day people will see them for who they are. Grandma's in recovery, but she has not allowed them to visit her without supervision. I want to get them banned from ever visiting her, but that would raise suspicion. I'm only keeping quiet for grandmother's sake, but those two have another thing coming if they think that they're ever going to touch my grandmother again. Update number 3. She wore the necklace to the wedding after coercing me. However, she was not careful about what she wished for. I told myself I would fight for myself and stand up against her. She's always intimidated me, and I've simply allowed it. She continued to harass me about the necklace for days on end. Each time I gave her the very same answer, that I did not want to give her the necklace. She showed up at my workplace one day, and I was about to call security just to escort her out, but she told me that it was about Adam. When I heard that it was about Adam, my mind started spinning. I agreed to meet her after work at a neutral location, but once I got back to work, I was stressed. Why was she in contact with him, and what did she have to tell me? The time came and we met at a mall. She told me that she knew the reason I was holding on to the necklace was because of my unresolved feelings for him. She told me that she had something for me that might change my mind and allow her to have her happily ever after. And then she gave me a letter. I tore that letter open. My heart was thundering as I wondered what he had to say. It has been several months since our last conversation. We ended things in an amicable way, but only because I did not want him to see how badly he hurt me. But moving on to the letter. I opened it in front of her. It was a letter from him apologizing to me about how he ended things. He hoped that I'd be able to heal and move on, but upon speaking to my cousin, he found out that I was still holding on. He said it was up to me, but he did not see it as a bad thing that another person was getting married on the day that we were supposed to be getting married. He also said that I should consider giving her the necklace, just for the day. He begged me to reconsider because my cousin appealed to him regarding the matter. Well, I took the letter home with me, where I thought it over, and I realized that she had played it well. She made me seem like I was emotionally attached to Adam, and that's why I was doing this to her. Already, the whole family sees me as the Grinch that stole Christmas. I hope that she's proud of herself for backing me into that corner. I decided to give it to her, but she'd made me do it in front of the family, and she said, well, it would make them like me again. I did it only for my mother so that she would stop being treated badly because of me, the black sheep. The wedding day came, my wedding day. My cousin wore the necklace that my grandmother gave to me. I was part of the bridal party where we helped her get ready. She told someone to fetch a big bag from her car and I volunteered. As I was lifting the bag and taking it up the stairs, the zip ripped. Out came a lot of papers. I recognized Adam's handwriting on them. There were also papers where someone had been writing the letter that I got. All the letters were unfinished, like a bad job of trying to impersonate somebody. Well, I took the bag, dumped it on her bed, and asked her why she lied to me about Adam. She did not even defend herself. She told me that it's too late and she already had what she wanted. If I wanted to, I could stay at the wedding, but she had the necklace in a safe space and nobody would be able to take it away from her. Crafty. Exactly what I expected from her. I played into her game of emotion. I let my lingering feelings for Adam allow her to fool me that he would exactly care about my necklace. She stood there triumphant, taunting, and I had nothing to say, so I admitted that she won. Finished getting dressed and went to find my seat. She walked down the aisle in an expensive dress that cost $5,000 to make. Her train was extremely long and dramatic, as was her style. When she got to the end of the aisle and took her veil off, grandmother's necklace was on her neck. She caught my eye for a second. She was triumphant that she was getting married on my wedding day, wearing my necklace that I should have been wearing. My mom, who was sitting beside me, squeezed my hand. I was not going to fall apart. I was going to sit there and endure this. The priest began speaking, and they started saying their vows. She was in the middle of her vows when she started scratching her neck. Redness began to appear on her neck, but she kept on saying her vows. And then part where they asked if anybody objected. We waited, but nobody stepped forward. The priest began speaking again, when somebody budged through the door. Well, it was a very short woman with a white dress who was the cause of all the commotion. She simply marched up to the top, and when she slapped my cousin, we gasped. This was unexpected. She began telling her that she was a gold digger, and she was going to make sure that she got nothing. My cousin's fiancé managed to get her off. He shook her and asked her if she was crazy. She said, "You're the one who's crazy for getting married to her when we still haven't finalized our divorce." Now, I did not see that one coming. The only thing that we needed was popcorn. I could not believe how the mighty had fallen. She used to brag about how amazing and loyal her fiancé was. He came from a respected, well family. No one would ever suspect him of attempting bigamy. "You're crazy. I divorced you a long time ago." "You made a filing error in the details, so you're still married to me. You may have made me sign a prenup because you thought that would fix it, but now I will not allow you to get married to her." Meanwhile, my cousin's face was getting pale, and then a tiny voice shouted, "You have warts on your neck." The attention shifted to my cousin. What was surrounding her neck was impossible to describe. It was red and swollen, angry looking. Oops, not sorry. Well, the drama with the wife was not orchestrated by me. That's what you were thinking. It's just an added bonus to my plan. See, I knew when I saw the letter that it could not have been Adam. For the past few months, Adam has been on a cruise with his girlfriend. He's been inactive on all social media platforms as well. He's in love with her. He would never look back and text me. So, when I gave her the necklace, I gave her the replica, which I had made for her. The replica that was made of nickel, which she's very allergic to. I did think of changing it back to the original one that morning, and I realized that I was being petty and was going to ruin her wedding day. But when I found that bag, well, that proved my theory. I decided to let her suffer the consequences. The original necklace is safe in a place that she will never find it. There was a commotion at the wedding, with people panicking because of a rash and her fiancé fighting with the strange woman who was named Victoria. At last, security escorted her out. Dave, Natasha's fiancé, apologized for the commotion and said that the wedding could continue. But my cousin was not looking too good. Her mother came and grabbed her, and they started running out of the venue. I assumed that she was going to get her medical help, and the groom just stood there stunned. For days, all the people could talk about was how much of a disaster the wedding was. My cousin made all her social medias private, fearing that people who were laughing at her. I heard that she was still in the hospital and she refused to show her face to anyone. I don't feel bad about it. I'm not the one who ruined the wedding. It was the secrets in her fiancé's closets. I think we can safely say that the day was cursed to begin with. Update 3 months later. What happened several months ago sent into a motion of a domino effect. Yeah, first I pushed the domino, I agree, but I was not responsible for the mess that happened next. Natasha's mother tried to damage control the situation. She claimed that Victoria was an ex of Dave that was simply just lying and had escaped a mental asylum. When she heard about that, Victoria released wedding pictures and a picture of their marriage certificate. Dave tried to defend himself, but no one believed him. The people in the family were angry and they blamed Natasha's mother. For a person who acts holier than thou, she did not do proper research before she got her daughter married to this man. They accused her of trying to use Natasha to further her own agenda. Had the marriage succeeded, her husband's company would have gotten many business deals. We had all been thinking about it, but now everybody was saying it. Natasha's mother tried to shift the blame on poor old me. She claimed that I had cast an evil eye on her from the very beginning. I could not just sit there and do nothing while she tried to accuse me of contacting Dave's ex. Well, I know that what I did with the necklace, but I will not admit to them. They can figure it out if they want. Natasha's mom then said it was probably my witch of a mother who put me up to this. Then I burst out, and I simply asked, I suppose you're going to blame me too for the fact that you put my grandma in the hospital after threatening her. I would never do that, you liar. She's not lying, you did it. Grandma spoke up the first time that night. I gave this necklace to her. I wanted only her to wear it. You always thought that you deserved everything without working for it. Now look at your daughter. Her wedding day was ruined, and I blame you. Natasha's mom lost her temper and said that Grandma never took her side. Grandma told her that it's because she never did anything with good intentions. Other people chimed in. Some were defending Natasha's mom, otherwise being against her. At the end of the night, everybody went home with heated emotions. I started to block Natasha and her mom's number. Where would I get by, allowing them to just ruin my life? I decided that I would not attend any family events where they were there. I needed to protect my peace. Weeks went by and all was well. I never ran into them. As my schedule is constant, it was, wake up, eat, work, sleep. Sometimes I went home to see my mother and father. Little did I know that a huge scandal was unfolding right in front of my eyes. Natasha could not get married to Dave because he was still married, and his ex refused to divorce him. His family decided to distance themselves from him while he sorted out his mess. Little did everyone know that the wedding was what could have saved their family. They were in debt and were relying on Dave to help them out when he married Natasha. Several chats between Natasha and her mother leaked, which proved that they have been using him for money. He found out about it and decided to break up with her. Not long after, the debt collectors decided to come a-knockin'. The bank took their assets, including their house, their cars. Her stepfather had to sell the company for absolute peanuts. They did not have a place to stay after that, and they were broke, and they started begging people for financial help. I found out about it when my mother told me that, and they begged her for money so that they could stay in a motel, just for a few weeks. She told me that she refused to give it to them, and at that point I asked her, well, why? They were family after all. I know they've been entitled and have made our lives a living hell, but there's still people who are struggling. So, I took some money and visited them where they were staying. The place looked like an industrial area that nobody ever goes to, and my aunt was a shadow of her former self. She had no makeup on her face, none of her previous bravado as well, and then there was Natasha. Oh, Natasha. The scars, were starting to fade. She was very quiet. I was not going to stay for too long, so I gave her the money and was on my way. We exchanged polite responses, but there was nothing much to say, and as I was going back to my car, Natasha called me back. Hey, I want to ask you something. Sure, go ahead. How did you get over it, being left by someone that you love? I don't know, time heals. You know, I was against the idea of using him to get out of our mess, but my mother kept insisting. I've always listened to my mom. She's always been right, but not this time. Well, I don't know what to say. And she just nodded and then went back. I have not seen any of them since that day, and I cannot get involved anymore. They dug their hole, and now they must claw their way out. Speaking of, there's one good thing that's happening in my life. I got a job offer out of the state. It's a senior level position, it has great benefits, and it's in the city. I think it's time for me to pack up my life and start over, fresh. Small town sucks. Nothing ever remains a secret and there's too much drama. I want a drama-free life from now on. I'm not kidding when you guys, I did not see it coming. The fact that the note was fake, the fact that the cousin would go to such far lengths. But what bamboozled me was the fact that OP actually knew the whole time. She knew that that note was not from her ex because he was away on a cruise. And she knew she was allergic to nickel, and it would make her skin break out, therefore basically ruining the entire wedding. But what she did not know is that another surprise was waiting, and the wedding was going to get ruined when the wedding goer's fiancé walks through the door, not alone, but with another wife. Guys, I would love to hear from you about this story. Drop your comments down below. If you're new to the channel, my name's Mr. Reddito. I welcome you. I narrate and animate stories every single day, so stop by, see what we're up to. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.